Hey everyone, Harrison101 back at it once again with a brand new video for you, and it's time for my Sad Times final race review of the 2011 season. The race in Sao Paulo, Brazil just finished with Mark Webber, the other Red Bull driver, winning in Brazil with Sebastian Vettel in second and Jenson Button in third, Fernando Alonso fourth, Felipe Massa fifth. Well, it wasn't a very interesting race, to be honest. Vettel started out incredibly strong. Alonso with another super fast Ferrari start, passing Hamilton on the first corner, and was looking good for a third place till near the end. I'll talk about that a bit later as well. Vettel got off to a very strong early start again, got about a 3 or 4 second lead, but it was revealed about, I think, 15-20 laps into the race that they had a gearbox problem and had to short shift second and third gear. This happened for a little while, and eventually Webber reeled him in and passed him at about the halfway point. Vettel not really fighting him, he just let Webber through on the first corner, and Webber just came through, drove perfectly, and won the race in the end. Vettel drove again. It's funny that he was short shifting second and third gear. Excuse me on that one. For like 75% of the race, and he still hammered Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton and all the guys that were behind him. It just goes to show you just how good Sebastian Vettel is, or how much of a gap there was between them and the McLarens this time around, because the McLarens were not on it like they normally are with race weekends. Interesting things, there was an incident early on as well between Michael Schumacher and Bruno Senna. Bruno Senna on his home track into the first corner, where Schumacher cut in a bit too quickly on Senna through the first corner, and despite the fact it looked like a racing incident, Bruno Senna was tagged with a drive-through penalty. Really unfortunate for the Brazilian. Not the greatest day in the world for Brazilians in general. Rubens had a terrible start. Yes, he started in 12th, ended up coming down to 19th off the start line, fought back through the field a little bit to end up finishing in 14th place. Felipe Massa had an interesting strategy where he was going longer on the softer tyres, but it didn't really work out for him in the end. He ended up finishing in 5th. What's also interesting was that Lewis Hamilton, despite that he was driving a solid race, it looks like he was going to score some good points for a top 5 finish. He had the same gearbox problem that Vettel was reporting about earlier on as well. It's interesting that I don't think that's ever happened before, where 2 cars have had gearbox issues in the same race, but it looked to be an issue of overheating, which is something that Martin Brundle had speculated about during the commentary for the race, where eventually about 40 laps in, Hamilton had to retire. His gearbox gave out altogether just when he was in the middle of what could have been a very interesting scrap between him and Felipe Massa. But in the end, Hamilton had to retire a non-finish, which put Adrian Sutil into 6th place. A great result for Adrian Sutil. In the end, picking up 8 points, and those 8 points put him up to 9th in the World Championship and in a top 10 world title finish for the Force India team. And it just culminates what's been a good season for the Force India team. Paul di Resta, who completed more laps during the Formula 1 season than any other man. So great efficiency from Paul di Resta, and Adrian Sutil, who scored good points when he needed to, and ended up with a top 10 finish in the World Championship standings. So a great drive from Adrian Sutil to come in 6th. In the end, it's been a long and bumpy road for this season, but it's just been pure Sebastian Vettel dominance, really. Even with a crippled car, he still came in 2nd and picked up another 18 points. Eventually winning the world title, I think, by over 120. I think that's 5 clear races he had on the rest of the field. People are complaining. I've seen a lot of bitter McLaren fans on Twitter flock to the internet saying, it'll be all Lewis and Jenson next season, and I'm pretty sure they were saying that at the end of last season, pretty much. It's like, I don't know why people are complaining so much. I think they were probably the same fans who were just watching and reveling in awe when Michael Schumacher was dominating, which, to be honest, wasn't that long ago. So, it's been Sebastian Vettel's show pretty much all season, and I'm glad Mark Webber got a win this time around. His first win in over a year. I think his last win was Hungary 2010. So, I mean, I'm very happy for Mark. He didn't show very much emotion, which was quite weird. He was very restrained about it. Like, thanks guys, and not much of a celebration guy, Mark Webber is, but I'm sure he was happy about it. I don't know what's up with Mark Webber really, but I'm glad he got a race win here, just to show he is still capable of being a race winner, at the top of his game. He drove a perfect drive and even got the fastest lap at the end there, which I don't know why drivers do. It's like one of those little things. I've got to have the fastest lap of the race. But that's pretty much what I've got to really report from the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in Brazil. I haven't really got much more to say on it. It wasn't a very exciting race, really. A few incidents here and there, but generally it was Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel for the Red Bulls all the way to the end. It's been a great season, well, for Vettel and for Red Bull, and I've enjoyed it. I don't complain when one guy's dominant. I just enjoy the sport in general. There's always something else going on, and there's going to be a lot of stories to talk about at the end of the year. I will have a full season review on my YouTube account probably sometime next week. I might put it in there along with a part of the Formula 1 2011 Grand playthrough I've been doing. What I might do, I might put the Shanghai qualifying and race together and then make that my season review video. So, wait and see. But in the end, it's been an interesting season. I've enjoyed it, and now we've got to wait 5 months for it to kick off all over again. I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching, and sayonara.
Congratulations on the win. The whole team's ecstatic. Great driving.